Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody, let's take a look again on the Bitcoin market. So at first glance here we do not see something really interesting. Reaction on non-farm payroll release was not actually very impressive, but there are a few nuances stand, especially on intraday charts, that might be extremely helpful if you would like to make a decision on the trading. At least we definitely have to pay attention to them because they opened a few moments that makes the situation looks a bit different compared to what you see on the glance. First of all, on the daily chart. In the daily chart, you could see we have the very fragile bullish environment. So trend barely stands bullish by the MACD. Here market is forming some kind of the upper channel is forming. Well, it stands in upper direction. Hopefully price stands above the previous lows. That, as we said, was the wash and rinse of the previous spikes here, and by this spike down, scrub the stops below this area. Make clear it, and usually this works like the bullish signal. And indeed, although not without some adventure, but you can see market gradually was able to move higher after the wash and rinse has happened. Now the overall performance stands very weak, and market holds the risk to drop in a bit on any moment, because as we said, overall sentiment stands fragile, market's a bit not sure enough, undecided about the perspective. Overall statistics currently looks very positive for United States dollar, and that make pressure on the market. At the same time, purchasing on the cryptocurrencies stands relatively low and weak. So everything stands as we have discussed in our monthly report, where we in detail talk about the short-term sentiment in the market and why overall environment stands a bit fragile and really keep chances on the possible drop. So this drop could happen in any moment. So we have to pay attention every time to new patterns and signs that market is forming, and make the decision on what to expect next, because the situation could change very fast. At the same time, although overall performance looks really tricky, I think that markets still show important moments that tells that chances on upward continuation are not really impossible. So, first of all, on the 4-hour time frame chart that we discussed previously, it was our previous environment, if you remember, got cheaper to sell with the OP. This downside action based on the Hannish shoulders pattern that we discussed before the non-farm payroll release mostly has completed the target, just few cents. Market was not able to reach the OP target. This downside action has happened. And here, it's very important thing stands that makes me think that we still have to take into consideration possible upward continuation. If this will happen, next target will be around 41,000. This will be XOP target. At least on the 4-hour time frame chart. On the lower time frame, this will be near standing target around 39. Why I still think that this upward action could happen? But a few moments. First of all, market on the downward action has stopped at the 618 support here. This most recent leg up, completing the regardless triple to sell pattern, and shows some upward bounce here. So maybe this is just the pullback of this leg, and we will see and get some downward continuation, downward drop. But because of this price action, situation stands currently more or less evident, and you need to keep an eye on 3250 area, because this is vital point for short-term bullish context. If you would like to buy Bitcoin, just keep an eye on this level, and market will keep bullish context until market stands above this area. So until market above the 3250, chances on upward continuation exist. If market will drop below it, it means that our suggestion, or better to say not even the suggestion, but this scenario will be crushed and market is ready to go lower. This might be the return back to the previous bottom, and maybe its particular will be the action based on the current sentiment that suggests the taking out of the previous lows that many traders talk about, based on some indirect factors such as big whales selling, backwardation on the futures price on the Bitcoin, and other reasons. But this is not just because of the 618 level. On the lower time frame, on hourly chart, take a look what the performance market shows with the head and shoulders. That was our pattern, as you can see. Market with this downward action hasn't quite completed the OP, returned back up and closed above the neckline. So neckline of the pattern has been broken in the opposite direction. This is a bullish sign, and this is not typically that happens when the market forms the bearish reversal. So if we suggest that market is reversing down with the hand and shoulder with this triple to sell, market formed the hand and shoulders drop, shows minor pullback, and then it should show downside continuation. But market returns back above the neckline. So it means that here we could get some different pattern to be formed. And these particular lows, as I marked them bullish vital lows, as you can see, now plays a specific role in a short-term context, because personally I could suggest a few patterns that might be formed here. First of all, ABCD to the upside, 39 target, right here. It's maybe great, it might be from this ABC bottom right to the 41. Alternatively, that might be the butterfly. For instance, market could form something of that sort. Some pullback here, 1618 target, right back to the 39. It's also possible. And all these patterns are based on these lows. So while market keeps these lows, all these patterns are possible. And recent price behavior, as market has responded to the hand and shoulders, what the type action has happened after it has been formed, later after non-farm payroll release, makes me think that the Polish context is not broken yet totally. So besides, overall report was not too strong, so it was supportive to the United States dollar, but it kept room for different assets appreciation, such as the stocks, dollar rivals on the Forex market, and cryptocurrencies as well, because employment rate has increased a bit, wage inflation has decreased a bit. Despite the good numbers, this more or less acceptable, the perfect report for all members of the market. And I think that here at least we have to keep an eye on possible patterns that might be formed here. And this nuance tells you that it's not done yet with the bullish context. It still exists at this moment. What conclusion we could make for trading? First of all, if you would like to trade Bitcoin on the short side, it would be better to wait either the breakout of the 3250 area, the 618 support that we have here to the downside. For instance, you could use stop sell order, sleeping stop sell order, to be triggered in the moment of the breakout. In this case, probably the bullish context will be over. If you would like to buy Bitcoin, you could try to use some minor pullback to the lows to minimize your potential risk if, for example, this scenario will be destroyed, with the stops somewhere below this area. And then just keep watching what will happen. So that's current situation on the Bitcoin that we have, because based on this environment that we have, based on the performance on Friday, well, overall price action doesn't look like absolutely bearish, especially on the Ethereum. If you take a look on Ethereum, there is even better consolidation stance that suggests probably it might be another swing up before reversal, maybe formed, maybe not, but swing up is really possible here. So that's some subject for your thinking in the weekend. Take it into consideration and make your own trading plan for trading Bitcoin next week.